this. Sit down and yeah, I think we're good. Hey guys, I'm Joe Gibney.
And I'm Joe Brown.
And we both had just seen Halloween Ends. I went Thursday night.
And I saw that on Peacock the same night as you did.
Yeah.
So
what, no interest in seeing it in the theaters? Didn't really care to?
Well, let's put it this way. I am kind of glad that I didn't waste a little bit of the money for a ticket after seeing it. But we'll get into that.
Right. All right, so obviously, so I guess we'll start off with talking about, obviously, we both grew up with the Halloween franchise, and we were obviously very excited when 2018 was announced.
Yeah.
And that came out, so...
2018, in my opinion, was really different for the...
Well, obviously they didn't do the brother and sister storyline.
Yeah. I love the brother and sister storyline.
Me too.
And I think it adds a little more depth to the story.
I agree. Yes.
But I'm not saying that what David Gordon Green wanted to do wasn't good or anything, but it just, I feel like it lost its essence in storytelling.
Yeah, it did. It kind of turned Michael Myers into Jason. Like, no offense to Jason, but I just Michael Myers had more of a motivation. Jason just killed anyone that came on his turf.
Yeah, pretty much.
You know what I mean? So Michael Myers obviously lives in Haddonfield, and he comes up with, and he obviously.
And to give a little more backstory, I personally love Halloween 4 and 5 and that story as well.
Yeah.
And excluding 6, because 6 is good, but it's not necessarily needed in that story.
Yeah, but you know what? You told me yesterday you hadn't seen the producer's cut yet, right?
No, but...
Right. Well, I'll have to show that to you.
Yes.
And you know what? I'll tell you, the producer's cut answered a lot of questions in regards to why Jamie ended up there, because obviously, in the theatrical version of Halloween 6, meaning the original.
Mind you, like I said, like we were talking about it yesterday, I do like that the curse was added in that. It was a nice twist at the time. Back in
yeah, I thought the Thorn aspect. I think that was creative.
That was the 90s, right? That
1995.
Yeah.
6, yeah.
So I'm gonna say for the time, yeah, everybody was into curses, different things from Scary Movie was doing funny things with different things like that. But
right.
Overall, with all the stories, in my opinion, my favorites. We hear so many different people's takes on the ones I like and the ones that you like. But tonight, when we dive into Halloween Ends, you'll hear some really good critiques, maybe some bad critiques. But
yeah.
Let's
obviously, let's talk about first of all, what did you think of the story direction of 2018 Kills and Ends?
2018. I'm going to say the direction was, it seemed like the trilogy of what he was going to tell was going in a good direction.
Yeah, I thought 2018 was great. Yeah.
I thought 2018 was perfect. Perfect storytelling.
It was very simple.
It was simple. It was grounded. Like I said, the only thing I really had a problem with was there was no brother and sister.
There was no real motivation.
There wasn't really a motivation necessarily. But, if you want to go with the modern day killer and what people think, they don't always have motivation. And especially in real world killing, Jeffrey Dahmer, did he really have a motivation there? No, he loved gay men. And he started killing people like that. But
Right. Yeah. See, me personally, like I said, I'm so out of we've seen the original Halloween, then we can go to Halloween 2, and then obviously we see 4, 5, and 6, and then H2O, and I got these posters down here for all these other great Halloween movies. Unfortunately, I didn't have the space to put them on the table so you guys could see it. Got H2O and 6 right here, and of course we got Rob Zombie's remake right here, which I thought was a pretty interesting take.
And to dive into the ones that are a little campy, to the story, I actually like them. I actually like them. They hold up, in my opinion, because it's.
Which ones are the campy ones in your opinion?
The campy ones, H2O and Resurrection a little bit, but I still love the stories out of them.
Right.
That they're trying to tell. But other than that, I don't think there's really a true campy story in the whole series.
Right.
A lot of things that people might say is that this one didn't. I mean, there was jumping around in the original, and there was whatever. All right, yeah, but talking a little bit about what I'm going to say with ends. I felt like the ends was just jumping way too much with storytelling, and.
Wait. Did you say ends?
Yes, I did jump to ends just for a bit.
Okay.
But, like I said, we'll get into all that in a second.
All right, also, here's my opinion of Halloween Kills. Now, Halloween Kills, I thought the flashback scene at the beginning of the movie, from when we see 1978, while Hawkins went through, and how Michael was apprehended since Halloween 2 was ignored, I thought it was great. I thought that was the best scene in the movie. I thought it was very artistic, the way they did that. I thought it was amazing. I thought it was terrific. And, then we got to see, obviously, that incredible Loomis lookalike.
And no dig to Blumhouse, but my takeaway that I didn't like about the movie Kills was the simple fact that we had to almost glorify, in my opinion, suicide. Like, we get this guy. Yeah. We get the guy.
The guy that was
supposed to be Michael Myers, and
the guy that was in the Smiths, that was also a patient at the sanitarium that Michael was at. That was mistaken for Michael.
Yeah, and we get this guy that's mistaken for Michael Myers, and the whole town, which that's what I have as a whole draw on from 18 kills and ends, is they have this irrefutable logic that I'm like, you want to tell a real world scenario, but yet you're telling us that the logic is like completely thrown out the door. Right, and you're making the horror logic be more like, oh, we're idiots.
Right, yeah.
And I mean, it's good for some horror movies, but other horror movies, I mean, when you go up to a person, a sheriff in real life, and you're bleeding out, I don't think the sheriff is going to say, get away from me, asshole. He's going to question, why are you bleeding, first of all, and where'd you come from, and all that. But,
yeah, I will say, I think David Gordon Green made the movie, and, of course, Danny McBride. I think they made it a little unrealistic at some points. Like, I didn't like first of all, let's start off with this, obviously. In the original Halloween, Michael Myers killed 5 people. Yeah. And, and I was complaining about this yesterday, and, you made a good point, and someone else did too. I was curious to, how does Jamie Lee Curtis own that much land in the middle of nowhere? And, obviously that, when she's getting interviewed by those journalists, she says that, Michael Myers murdered 5 people. And he's a human being that we need to understand. And what's crazy? In today's standards of, murder and, all those... that's not high. That's really not. And you know what? They made, a big deal out of it. And unfortunately, if they kept Halloween 2 a part of that, I felt like it would have made more sense, because it would have given it, if Michael Myers massacred a whole entire hospital, that makes him more dangerous.
Yeah.
Halloween 5, the original Halloween, Michael kills, the 5 people, and then...
Now,
they say that he's dangerous, but... Hold on a second. And then, obviously, I was confused at why Laurie Strode had a house in the middle of nowhere and was able to own all those guns. But obviously, you made it clear to me that obviously that, since Michael Myers was an escaped convict from a sanitarium, she had to suffer the consequences of his escape. She probably received money from them. Yeah. Yeah, so that makes sense.
You have a quick draw to all of them. I'm not one that can remember exactly where it came from. Correct me if I'm wrong. If I'm not mistaken, in one of these stories, any of the Halloweens. Did they show that Michael was doing stuff to like animals?
In the first one, when Loomis and the sheriff are in the Myers house, they find a dog that apparently was eaten.
Well, I can
So Michael has killed dogs. Yeah.
Yes. So, in a sense, I get the direction for all of these, because you start killing those things, you're going to go to people more, and then he started going to people. They caught it in an early state, and I can understand it that way, and the psychological aspects of these stories. I mean, let's face it, Michael is the psychopath that we all can relate to, and when you have a story that doesn't focus on that enough, I don't know.
Yeah, like I just felt like, for also in, Halloween Kills, like, the whole entire town, with the whole evil dies tonight thing, I felt like, the whole entire movie, there was really no character development. It was just a bunch of people saying evil dies tonight.
I felt like Kills focused way too much on the town.
Yeah, and you know what else? Michael's not stalking. In the original film, he and all the other sequels. Too.
Mind you,
he stalks and then he kills. Like, he plans his attack.
What I love about Kills is we actually see a lot of killing with this, and they're all different. But I will say this: a lot of it felt like you put Jason in the Michael mask.
Yeah.
And no offense to that, I love Jason. I love Michael. I love pretty much all the horror icons, the big four. You can't go wrong with any of them. But I just, when you kind of put Michael and Jason in the opposite role, it doesn't work, in my opinion. It really doesn't, and it takes away from what you learned and loved about that icon, that particular icon.
Yeah.
So when you don't show up and you are the way you presented them now, it takes away from the story, in my opinion. But
yeah, I personally like this is my, like, I would say, when it comes to the original franchise, okay, obviously let's what is your personal ranking of all 13 Halloween movies?
Personal ranking?
Yeah, well, I guess well, let's see, Halloween 1, 2, should we count 3? Since it's not a Michael Myers movie?
I still count it in a way, but
Alright, we can count 3. Okay, 1, 2. So that would be, like, how many Halloween, like, that would be so yeah, that would be 13. There's 13 Halloween movies. There's Halloween 1, 2, and then there's 3, Season of the Witch, and then there's Halloween 4, 5, 6, Halloween H2O, Halloween Resurrection, Rob Zombie's Halloween Remake, Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 Remake, then we got 2018, and we got Kills, and then we got Ends. So there's that's 13. We got 13 Halloween movies. So
but me personally,
give me your top 5. Like, what are your top 5 favorite Halloween movies?
1, the original classic. 2, 3, 4, and 5. And
so like all in order? All in
1,
order?
2, 3, 4, and 5.
Right.
After that, it gets a little wonky for me, but I'd say for me, after 5, it's HBO or
H2O.
H2O. H2O. I don't know where. You see where my mind went, but
He's talking about this one.
I'd say H2O. I put Rob Zombies in a different category.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah,
I don't get me wrong. I love those too, but I put them in a different category and say, okay, those are their own entities. But if you're going to go with the classics and stuff like that, in my opinion, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then you got the ones that you have to kind of mellow out. Which ones it references you the best going forward after that. So I would say after that, for me, like I said, it would be H2O, and then What do we got next?
This is after your top. This is your sixth.
Yeah.
So your sixth.
Yeah, that would be my sixth. Then I would say Halloween Curse after H2O Resurrection.
Well, okay, yeah.
That's how I
Your ranking of how entertaining
how entertaining they are. And what else we got? I feel like I'm missing one.
From the original Resurrection.
Yeah, I thought I said Resurrection after 6. So yeah, that's where I kind of tend to stop after those movies, but
my personal ranking, of course, mine's Halloween 2. That's number 1.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? I'll tell you, when it comes to my I think I'm going to give it to H2O. And then I would give it to Halloween 4. And then the next one after that, I would give to Halloween 1.
Mm-hmm.
I'll make that number 4.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to go Halloween 5.
Mm.
Yeah, everybody criticizes Halloween 5.
And for the Rob Zombies, in their own personal one, I felt Rob Zombie's first one was way better than the second one. But at the same time, they need to be told. Those stories need to be told. And what he gave to the story, I thought, oh wow, you're telling a decent backstory, more so diving into Michael, why it happened, how the psyche is. I just loved how Rob told that story, going into the character and diving into truly understanding why Michael is way Michael is.
Right, yeah.
I mean, the originals did that too, but it just didn't do it, in my opinion, it didn't do it enough.
Right.
And Rob Zombie's original first one was how I perceive Michael now with the classic.
Mm.
I'm like, okay, that
well,
just adds
obviously, Michael Myers, in the original, he's a supernatural force of evil. And in Rob Zombie's version, he was just a fucking
guy.
psychotic freaking kid.
Yeah.
And he was just obviously he was treated badly by his stepfather, his sister, and and obviously I don't know.
Let's face it, we all love Michael, right? Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'll tell you. I actually saw the Rob Zombie's Halloween 1 remake in the theaters when I was a kid. I'm not gonna lie, the scene after he beats up the kid in the woods. I walked out of the theater and I went to see Rush Hour 3 to cleanse my brain from that. Wow. That was really over the top. That was the most brutal, intense death scene I had ever seen at that point. At this point, I've seen all the Halloweens, all the Friday the 13th, and all the Nightmare on Elm Streets.
So what, Joey, my question is, what didn't you like about Kills the most?
I felt that it was a mess. I thought the flashback scene in the beginning was great. But another thing that really got me is how is Hawkins still alive? Because we saw in 2018 the doctor, after Hawkins hit Michael with his car, he got out, was ready to shoot him. The doctor got out and stabbed Hawkins in the neck multiple times in the chest, and then he put Michael's mask on, and he put Michael in the back seat, and then he took the mask off, threw it in the back seat, got in the car, and then he ran over Hawkins. And I'm like, and Hawkins is in a Halloween Ends, and just to get to Ends real quick, and he's walking around looking like he was not run over.
With the story being told, I'm going to add something to what you were just saying.
Yeah.
With the story being told the way it was in Kills, going forward, you would expect certain things to kind of roll over for End and stuff. The thing that I didn't like that rolled over was, why did we have to kill Laurie's daughter? I felt like that could have added more for the story going forward.
I gotta say, Judy Greer as Karen Strode, I thought she was great. I loved her as Karen Strode. I thought she was great. I mean, Judy Greer is great in everything she does. And the actress, unfortunately, I forget her name. The actress that plays Allison, Laurie's granddaughter, Karen's daughter.
Yeah, I'm blanking on her name too.
I forget, unfortunately. Yeah, I think that she was great. I thought she was a really great. I think she's a great actress. A really good actress.
I've seen her in multiple different roles, and I think she plays a decent horror icon that she could go forward. And
Mhm.
but I'm surprised that Gordon Green wanted to slice her out, if you know what I mean. No pun intended. But
Yeah, I actually watched an interview today with David Gordon Green when he was promoting Halloween Ends, and the interviewer actually asked, "Was there ever a version of the script where Karen Strode did make it to Halloween Ends?" He said, "Unfortunately, no. She was always meant to be killed since 2018."
and again, I'm
Yeah,
surprised that that's the direction that he wanted to take that character,
yeah,
because I feel like there's a depth that could have been added to the story that would have made a little more sense going into it. And
yeah.
we'll, like I said, we'll get into that.
Right. All right. And also, we just to finish off what you asked me before about my opinion of Halloween Kills. I just felt like, for one, he's not stalking. You know what I mean? He just,
Hmm.
people see him and then boom, stab, it's over.
Yeah.
And in all the other sequels, he forget like he's walking around, he's stalking everybody, and then he kills. But then in Halloween Kills, we see him.
And did you feel like he was really like an unstoppable force there?
Oh yeah.
Like like nothing could phase him.
No. Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
I felt like he was a little
See,
too overpowered, if you know what I mean.
well, I mean, that's what he was always.
I mean, he's always overpowered, yes, but getting into a little bit of ends, I feel like that's sort of the takeaway from it
Right.
when
Yeah.
we actually do see Michael in ends.
Yeah.
Do
Yeah.
you feel the same way?
Kind of, but we'll get into Halloween Ends in a little bit. But the way he wasn't, I mean, he was brutal in Halloween Kills. He was brutal. I mean, I didn't like the way his mask looked. I'll tell you that right now. Obviously, he was in a fire, and his mask was burned. I mean, of course, or melted, I guess, because his mask wasn't even on fire.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought, when the beginning of the movie started,
Mm-hmm.
the flashback came up. The flashback was amazing.
I see. That's what I love that
love the
David
flashback.
Gordon Green has done with all of them. Is the flashbacks. The flashbacks are great. It adds more story as to what you're trying to tell.
I mean, I gotta be honest with you. I've been craving the backstory of how Michael was apprehended in Halloween 1 since Halloween 2 didn't happen. I was craving that scene. I wanted to see what happened. I didn't think we'd actually get it. In 2018 starts, they just give us a little idea of what happened. Obviously, Hawkins was the cop that arrested Michael, and or he was the one that stopped Loomis from killing Michael. That's what the doctor said in 2018, and then obviously in the flashback we got to see how it all went down, and it was freaking great. I love the flashback. The flashback out of all three of the recent Halloween movies is my favorite thing that these new movies gave us.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
Yeah, and I just back to the whole. I will say this thing. Another thing, I think Kills is fine. I think it's fine. Is it great? No, only because it's just it's just a whole bunch of people saying evil dies tonight, and like this whole stampede of people outside the hospital, and of course Lori's stuck in the hospital. She was injured, and
I don't know if it's because of the stamp of Blumhouse, but I just feel like that one, it was like, let's show dramatically gore left and right. I just was like, I don't know if it added, I don't know if it took away from the story for me, but it just, to me, it was over the top for no reason.
Right, yeah. But yeah, anyway, we were talking about this a little bit earlier. You mentioned it. The other mental patient from the sanitarium that Michael came from committing suicide because he was so scared because everyone was charging at him thinking that he was Michael, up to the point where he killed himself. He fell from the building, and then we see him plastered all over the ground in pieces. And I was like, okay, that was not necessary. I thought that was a little too over the top.
I felt like they glorified suicide in that moment. I mean,
well, like I talked to you about this, to step off Halloween for a minute, Chucky, like the Chucky series, for example. I was explaining to you how when they killed the mother, who she recently just had a heart to heart with her son because it turns out she's dying of cancer, and you know, I mean, you know, I'll tell you, even in movies, you know, hearing that, like, you know, someone's got cancer, it's not fun.
Yeah.
And, you know, then the way Chucky, you know, they kind of like made it like, they tried to make it like a sickening kind of funny way when Chucky kills the mom and she lands on top of the car and her face is right inside the windshield when her kid's watching her.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to lie, that was like...
And I sort of feel, still being off the topic of Halloween for a moment, I feel like they do that a lot with even Family Guy. I mean, they say these jokes and they don't really think like, is this going to affect other people that might have the disease?
Oh, yeah,
or whatever the joke is.
Like Seth MacFarlane.
And that's what I feel like Chucky did in that moment too. I felt like, you know, yeah.
Don Mancini's the guy that writes Chucky, and yeah, I mean, he can get a little too over the top with these movies. Like, I mean, Seed was...
Yeah,
Seed was
I don't even know what Seed was really.
It's when Chucky and Tiffany had a kid.
No. I mean, like in a general term, like what the hell did he give us?
But he gave us Chucky masturbating in a bathroom. That's what he gave us, and I was like, and
I'm not gonna lie, I love the out there jokes. I'm one for the cynical jokes. Yeah, but I mean sometimes it's a little too much, and if you're gonna joke about somebody's disease, be a little more respectful about it.
Yeah.
And don't just dive into it like, oh, we're gonna dig that knife a little bit deeper. Just no pun intended. But
yeah.
Because I mean,
we shouldn't dive into the Chris Rock, Will Smith. Right there. But
yeah, I mean,
yeah. Anyway, my opinion of Halloween Kills was just that, you know, I felt like he used a little too much blood up to the point where the blood looked fake. And
yeah.
I like when he kills the old guy's laying in a pool of blood, and like when Michael drags him, we see all the blood looked fake.
Yeah.
And I obviously also, you know, I think Kills is fine. I just think it's really messy and very rushed because Michael just rushed, like they just killed. It almost feels like David Gordon Green was trying to get Michael's murder record up since the sequels were all ignored. It felt like he still wanted to keep Michael's record of kills going.
Exactly, but it also felt. Correct me if I'm wrong. That came out during the pandemic, right?
You know what? Kills was actually delayed a year. Remember, it was delayed because of COVID, and that fucking pissed me off. It pissed me off. I was so excited for that movie, and then they delayed it a whole year because they wanted to release it on October.
Now, how soon did they go into production for Ends?
I think Ends was. I think Ends was shot before Halloween Kills was even in theaters. I think.
So he.
Oh, you know what? That's probably not true. I think. He
did them pretty much back to back, right?
Yeah, he did it back to back. Obviously, there was a little bit of a delay.
So. Yeah. All right. Yeah. That'll help me critique this a little bit better, maybe. Yeah. I don't know, but we'll dive into it soon. But if you got anything more to add about Kills. Go right for it, man.
No, that's pretty much all I have. I just thought it was just very rushed and very messy with the blood, and you know, obviously the mental patient killing himself. I didn't like that. I thought that was a little too. I didn't think it was funny. I thought it was sad.
Yeah,
I didn't think it was funny. I didn't think it was scary. It was sad.
I didn't think it was funny. I didn't think it was scary. I didn't think anything except for like, why did we need to see that?
Right.
Did we have to see that? I mean, you could have hinted at that happening without actually showing it, and I just felt like it was so out of place, so over the top. Don't get me wrong, Halloween in general is an over the top slasher, but in that moment, I just thought, wow, dude, like, it was horribly placed.
Let's turn this so they can see it.
Sorry. I just felt like it was horribly placed.
Right, yeah.
So,
yeah. I see we're getting questions right there. We'll get to all the questions in a little bit after we give our opinion. But, yeah, Halloween before we get into ends real quick, let's talk about Halloween 5. Because obviously that's probably the one that gets criticized the most out of the original franchise. I mean, obviously people just say Halloween 6 and Resurrection suck. I know 6 has a little bit of a cult following.
Mm-hmm.
Resurrection doesn't really seem to have that much.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously the scene where Busta Rhymes and Michael come face to face for the first time and he's dressed up like Michael.
I laugh at that all the time.
That scene's hilarious. But yeah, obviously in Halloween 5, of course the mask looks different, and that's been criticized a lot. Don Shanks, the guy that played Michael Myers in Halloween 5, I actually met him at Monster Mania, and he told me that Greg Nicotero, the guy that made it, sculpted it from his face and made the inside of the mask Don's face.
Yes.
So, obviously, there you go. It wasn't meant to be a Captain Kirk mask. It should have been, but, you know, I mean, I gotta be honest with you, I like the 5 mask.
I like the 5 mask too. I think it looks a little more menacing sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. I think it looks scary. You know what? I think it also, it doesn't look like the Part 4 mask that much, but it doesn't look that different. Obviously, the neck's longer. The neck is longer.
Obviously, yeah.
But I will say, I thought it looked like it had water damage, because in the beginning of 5, Michael, to escape the cops, you know, he dives, you know, he goes into the river, and obviously we see him floating down the river stream until he...
But... Yes, I mean, let's be real here. William Shatner's face is fucking scary. Okay, so
I gotta be honest. I'm not really a Trekkie. I didn't watch the Star Trek movies, so I really don't know what to say about William Shatner. The only thing I know about William Shatner was they used his face for Michael Myers. I mean, well, they got his mask. he already had a Star Trek mask.
Yeah.
But you know, obviously they just took it, painted it, cut it up a little bit, and pulled some of the hair off, and then boom, all of a sudden it's Michael Myers.
And I love William Shatner, but every now and then I feel as though
Star Trek. Is that what it is? I don't know.
Live long and prosper, buddies.
I only know this because of Daddy Daycare.
Yeah. But no, seriously. William Shatner, all respect that he allowed that after a while, because he did try to copyright it after the first one came out. But I'm glad he allowed it. Like he listened to the fans at the time. But going forward, I mean, I don't think it needs to be the same face. I feel like it does need to change over time. I feel like it.
Well, they can't see it. You're sideways.
Yeah. But no, I was pointing out the mask is what I was doing.
Yeah.
But
Oh yeah, right, okay.
And stuff.
I hope they do that for the future installments. I want them to bring Daniel Harris back. I want Don Shanks to reprise his role as Michael Myers, for like he played him in 5. I want him to come back. You know, it's funny. I actually watched a Q&A that they did at another convention. He actually auditioned for 2018. And
like you were saying about water damage. I mean, going forward, I mean, we see Michael from the first one, perfect mask. All of a sudden, it gets all messed up as it goes on, dirty, whatever. Like I said, you need a different mask to tell a different story sometimes. Yeah. And sometimes without having facial expressions on a lot of them, it works. But sometimes you might want a little drawl on the eye. You want a little different expression so it comes across better. Right. I'm just saying, there might be multiple ones of the first one. There might be multiple ones of the second one that came into play that we don't know about until, well, after production.
Yeah. All right. Well, all I got to say is I hope they do that with the franchise. I hope they bring... I actually pitched an idea to Daniel Harris. I did it through a cameo. Those little cameo videos that she accepts and she sends out to people. I actually pitched her my idea for how they could bring her character back, and she liked it.
Is that for the one that you were talking to me
about?
Yeah,
my idea was that, you know, obviously in the producer's cut of Halloween 6, you didn't know this, or you didn't see it yet. Mm-hmm. But, you know, we get to see, we see what happened at the end of Halloween 5. Jamie actually goes out the back door of the prison and sees Michael being carried away in this van, and then we see the Man in Black come and pick up Jamie, and my idea was that what if there were two vans?
Wait, Johnny Cash is in this?
Yeah, I think he was dead. But, yeah. But like I think that J.C. Brandy's Jamie could have been a decoy, like because somehow Jamie got away, and Dr. Wynn had to. I don't know how often last time it was since you've seen it. I don't know if you know who the characters are that I'm talking about, but Dr. Wynn, like, what if he went out and found another young girl that was Jamie's age, had the same name, hair color, eye color, blood type, and that would explain why she had Michael's baby, because Dr. Wynn was trying to continue Michael's bloodline.
Yeah.
Obviously, even though she and Jamie had the same blood type, they're not blood related.
Yeah.
So
I agreed.
So that was my idea, because I thought the whole baby thing in Halloween 6, was stupid. I liked Paul Rudd as Tommy Doyle, and I liked what's her name, Marianne Hagen as Kara Strode.
Yeah, I think so.
Kara Strode. Yeah, actually, it's funny. You know what I mean? In Curse, her name is.
See, I like I said, I like 6, but I mean, there's things like in every iteration of Halloween that you like and you don't like, and I just felt like they needed to add a little more depth to, like you said, the baby side of things with it. And I don't get me wrong, I liked the fact that she was pregnant. There was some story that you were trying to say that it was his son, was it?
Steven.
I mean, the baby was supposed to be Michael's, right?
Michael's, yeah. We didn't know that in the theatrical version. I don't know. We didn't even know how Jamie got to where she was.
Yeah,
they didn't even show the.
I could be like, okay, let that go. But if had it told out like something happened at the end of 5 or something leading into 6, it might have been better storytelling. I don't know, but. The takeaway from it, there was good things about 6, and then there was also some like really weird. I like the cult aspect of things though, because I mean it gave a different version to the story. But I mean, it didn't need it. Let's put it that way.
I didn't like the whole cult thing, honestly. Like I actually didn't. I thought it was just Michael was cursed with Thorn. And Dr. Wynn was in the theatrical version. They just made him a doctor who just wanted to research Michael.
I just like that they were trying something different. I do like that.
It was supposed to be like a little bit of a spin-off of Rosemary's Baby.
Yeah.
That's what they wanted to do with it. Yeah, but anyway. That's us talking about all the other Halloween movies. Now, here's the moment I think everyone's waiting for. Halloween Ends. Now, obviously, we talked a little bit about it yesterday, and you had a lot to say about it.
Yes, I did.
Okay, well, let's start off by saying that neither of us were very happy.
No.
We were not happy with it. I thought the ending with Michael and Laurie, their showdown, I thought the ending was great. But I really didn't like the whole Corey aspect of it. But why don't we get into your review first? Because...
Yeah, first off, I don't want to say do not go see this, okay? So let me put that out there. If you like a story that is not centered around Michael, go ahead, go see it. And you're probably wondering if you're like, I want to hear the spoiler for this before I go see it. I get that. Because we were given kind of not a great story with kills, okay? So if you're feeling that, like I was going into this, you're probably saying, I don't know if I really want to see this and waste my money going to the theater, and I'll see it on Peacock. Mm-hmm. Now, if you want to see a story where there's no center focus on Michael, you want to see a new character built, you want to see a different take on the overall arc of Laurie and Michael face off at the end, and woo, we get a winner or we get a loser or we get them both to lose, whatever.
Yeah.
Go ahead, see this movie, by all means. But if you are expecting the show off that you see on all the previews for this movie, and you go in expecting that, just to tell you, you're not getting it.
Yeah.
You're getting horse shit.
Yeah, I know.
in that
The
aspect.
trailers showed the showdown with Michael and Laurie, and it turned out that was just the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Like they literally just they literally promoted this movie using just that scene.
Yeah.
Of Michael and Laurie fighting,
and it's
that's literally all the Michael stuff that we see.
We get a love story, which
a little twisted one.
I'm just going to say this: why throw a love story in a slasher movie?
Well, I don't hate that.
I'm not saying that it's a bad thing.
I've
but
always liked that in horror movies.
I do too. But give me direction with it. I felt like there was no direction, and if there was a direction, it was, well, we want to have Michael with his kitchen knife and go after Laurie at the end for 30 minutes. 30 minutes, mind you. 30 minutes of Michael.
Yeah.
We don't even get a whole like half hour with Michael. No, we get a half hour with fucking Corey.
Mm-hmm.
And some odd minutes.
Oh no, dude, it's mostly
51 minutes, I think it is.
Obviously, let's do this from the beginning. All right, let's talk about the beginning. Obviously, okay, Corey is a babysitter who's babysitting this kid. This kid pulls a prank on him and locks him in the attic. Corey tries to break out, and you know what? I totally get it. I would try to break out too.
Same.
And it's not his fault that the kid was right by the door.
Now, let me ask you something.
What?
Bannister in the beginning of this movie. Do you think that was too tall for the kid?
The what?
The banister. That he so supposedly falls over and cracks his neck. Do you think the banister was too tall for that kid to go over in the first place?
Oh, you know what? Actually, I never thought about it, but yeah.
I just felt like it was like, we're just going to show you.
He probably broke it.
Even so, I mean, this kid got pushed that hard from the door. Come on.
Well,
it was a little.
Well, he kicked the door.
I know, but
really
still, but even
force.
so,
yeah.
I felt like it was like if it was at my house, I would hit the banister. Maybe the banister break. I might have a bad bruise on the back of my neck, but I don't know if I'd fall that far or anything like that. I don't think I would.
Well, he was just a little.
He's a little kid.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Kid, yeah.
I felt like it was like, oh, let's just show something to show something crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
But
then obviously, okay, so obviously he accidentally killed a kid. He killed the kid. And then the opening credits roll, and first of all, the opening credits were blue.
And another thing that I have a problem with that opening, I mean, they instantly assume that this guy meant to kill him. Mm-hmm. I was like, what? No.
Well, they walk in and they hear him say, "I'm gonna kill you." I forget the kid's name.
I mean, yeah, I get that, but at the first, I would question that first.
Well, they did.
Be like, what happened?
Because he was let go. He was let go, obviously, and you know what? Hawkins, we hear him say, "The kid."
The mother though was like pointing fingers right off the bat.
Well, of course. I mean, what are you gonna do, man? I mean, that was her kid.
Like, I'm just saying, I'm throwing myself in that role a little bit. Mm-hmm. Like, if it was me, I would have. Being in that role, I would have said to the director, look, I know this is the way you want to take it, but I don't see that really happening in a real life scenario. I question what's going on first. That's just me, but that's what one of the takeaways that I absolutely hated the logic going into that scene. Mm-hmm. Like, why are we doing that?
Yeah.
And then on top of that, you have the town going after him as it progresses, and I was just like, what is this takeaway that we're getting here? Why are we that crazed that these men meant to do something? Right. But
yeah, I mean, I'll say like obviously, then after we see the police have arrived, we see Laurie drive by in her car. She suspects it could be Michael. It turns out it wasn't, and then we see like this whole like montage of Hawkins. He finds this other crime scene where people were shot, but he says Michael doesn't use a gun.
No.
So, turns out, okay, and it's funny, the opening of the movie was supposed to be 2019, Halloween of 2019. And that's another thing I was curious about. Why didn't Michael kill during 2019 and 2021? Like, he's free, he's not in the, and it's funny, and also, when we finally do see Michael, and we finally do see him kill for the first time, obviously Corey lures that, Allison's ex-boyfriend, the cop, into the cave, and then we see Michael stab, and he's like,
Is it a cave or is it a sewer?
It's
I don't even
it's
really
a tunnel.
know.
It's a tunnel.
But here's the thing that I caught. I don't know if you caught this, but why is there a fucking like Michael's mask on the walls of this cave? Like I'm like,
It was?
yes. If you zoom in on a certain scene of that whole thing, there's like a couple masks that are on the fucking wall, or it looks like it's carved into the wall or something like that.
I didn't see that.
It's really weird, and I'm like, what are we trying to tell here? It almost felt like
I remember he did put his light on the wall and saw something. I forget what it was, but
yeah, but it's almost like they were trying to say that Corey was Percy Pringle. If you don't know who that is, I'm a huge wrestling fan, so I'm going to just like throw this out there. That's Paul Bear. And it felt like he embodied Paul Bear, and Michael Myers is Undertaker, and it just is like, go out there and kill people without actually saying, go out there and kill people.
Corey was Paul Bear.
Yes.
You're saying? Yeah. Okay, yes, I agree with that. Yeah, they treated him like he was Paul Bear raising the air and Undertaker. Yeah, like Michael Myers was. When we see him, he's like weak. He's like really weak. When we first see him, of course, he drags Corey into the tunnel after Corey has just been, has been bullied by all these kids, and obviously he probably gets a motivation to kill them. He pulls out a knife and threatens to stab them. They toss him over the bridge where that tunnel happens to be. Michael pulls him in, and then he comes, he wakes up, and then we finally see Michael for the first time grab him by the neck, and then they make eye contact, and then he sees, we see visions of Corey's, the kid dying, and you know what? And that was like, is that why Michael let him live, because he accidentally killed somebody?
And we're led to believe through an entire year that this man is living in a sewer and nobody knows about it but one fucking hobo. And I'm just like, I don't know, man. That's a takeaway that I can't
The hobo
get away.
lived outside the tunnel. It's amazing how he was still alive.
Yeah.
But I also, it's funny. I've been trying to make sense of this whole thing, and in the beginning of the movie, we also see a newspaper article that says the Myers house was demolished. They tore it down.
Yes.
And hold on a second. I'm sorry. Hold on a second. But what I was trying to say was that in Halloween Kills, we see Lonnie and his son and Allison in the car, and they discover that all the killings that Michael did in 2018 in Kills led to was all the addresses that he had, all the houses. It was a straight line back to the Myers house, and it turns out, and what Lonnie said was, yeah, that's what he does. He kills and then he goes home. Now the Myers house is gone. He doesn't have a home.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, I get that part of it, but at the same time, it's still like you're living in a sewer for a year with notice. Nobody else noticing this. I mean, I get that it's under a bridge or it's under like shrubbery, but I'm sorry if they're saying this man is on the loose. I'm looking at every fucking corner. If it's real life, I'm gonna be watching my back every minute.
It's like Michael had no purpose without his house.
Yeah.
And and also like obviously Corey and Michael, they make eye contact. Michael sees flashes of what Corey did, and I don't know if that was Michael putting the evil in Corey, and then obviously Corey goes. I kind of felt like we were trying to get. We almost got a little bit of what happened to Jamie at the end of Halloween 4 when she stabs her foster mother, her stepmother, and it was her foster mother because she was put in foster care, I think, because her parents were killed. But what was I going with that? Oh yeah, obviously she touched Michael, when Michael was knocked down at the end of Halloween 4, and then we see her stab her mother, and then it looks like the evil was passed on to her. It felt like It felt like Michael was using Corey's body, like his youthness,
and that's
to stalk.
And that, to add to what you're saying, that's what I felt like they were trying to tell, that there is a curse aspect to this thing, but at the same time, you didn't dive into that story enough, and it was like a takeaway over the whole thing, and it kills and 2018 was trying to tell all the way through up to ends, and it's just like, what?
Mm-hmm.
You didn't explain that. Let's go back. Let's like rehash this. Why are you trying to tell us now that there's a curse aspect, but you were also trying to tell us there's a real world aspect? And that's where I'm like, well, if you're trying to tell a real world aspect, I don't get what you're trying to portray here.
Yeah.
So please dive into this a little bit more. But we get a rush story that felt like this was all filler. Like this should have been in kills in some way. And it was thrown into ends, and we get only 30 seconds or 30 minutes or however long with Michael.
Yeah, right. Right. Well, the bottom line is this: the movie, it was a whole movie without Michael until like the end of the movie, and they used him like we see Michael finally kill somebody in the tunnel where I was going with before, and then it looks like the evil power, the energy is like put back in his body because he's shaking after he does it.
Yeah.
It looks like the strength is going back in his body, and he continues to kill. And I'm not gonna lie, that was a cool nostalgic moment.
Yes.
But I didn't really understand it because, Michael gets energized from his killing. But he was in a mental institution for 40 years. And we saw him in 2018, and he wasn't weak. Yeah, he wasn't weak. And then we see him in the tunnel, and he hasn't killed apparently in 4 years.
And that's my thing about kills. We see him go brutally on a massacre level of things. And then we get to end, and we're told that this man is brittle. We're told that this man is now. Here's my thing. I feel like what's this guy's name again? David Gordon Green.
Yeah.
Okay. I felt like David Gordon Green wanted to say that it's going to end here. Yes, but after doing the stories that he told, he wants to do more, and instead of saying, okay, guys, I changed my mind, I'm going to give you this story, but I'm going to, whitewash some things, so if I ever do go back to it, I can open the door for stuff.
Right.
And I'm like, no, that's not how you tell this. This is not how you tell this story. Don't rush a story. I'd rather you take your time. You pace the story. You have openings for things that you need, but I don't know. I just felt like this was way too rushed.
Yeah.
In spots.
I just, I think the actor that played Corey did a great job.
I love the aspect.
Did a good job performing the character, but the problem was it just wasn't what I wanted to see. Like if he was like a struggling guy who was haunted by his past because he killed a boyfriend and Allison, and maybe he's like scared. People are comparing him to Michael, or people are calling him Michael. And you know what? I thought that would have been good. Allison makes him feel like she actually confronted Michael.
And I love the fact that
she was, she confronted Michael, so therefore she can bring comfort to him, let him know you're nothing like Michael. And then, obviously, eventually Michael came back somehow. Mm-hmm. But, that's the only thing that was missing. I wanted Michael to have like a really cool comeback.
Yeah.
And I didn't think his comeback was that cool.
And at a point in the movie, you have Corey, you have Michael, and you have Laurie, and they're trying to get to that story where they're going to face off. It just felt like when Corey takes the mask, like, bitch, you took my mask. I'm going to go psycho now that you took my mask away from me. But getting to that, Corey doing all the killings for a little bit. It's not even Michael doing the killings, for one. Yeah. I'm like, why?
Yeah, I know. That's the thing. Like, Corey goes in the tunnel, and they have a shove fight. Michael and Corey have a shove fight. You know what that made me feel like? That reminded me of the fight in Step Brothers. I didn't touch your damn drum set.
Yeah, I mean,
I thought that was the most goofiest scene I've ever.
Yeah.
I've seen in a Halloween movie.
Yeah.
And I thought the Busta Rhymes scene in Resurrection was.
But I loved the idea that they told something different. Yes, I love that Corey might have been a new face of horror for us.
Yeah.
but it also felt like instead of getting the standoff, you're going to get Michael and Laurie finally teaming up against this psychopath. And we don't even get that. We get Michael coming back to this situation because Corey stole his mask, comes into Laurie's house, sees him on the ground after he stabs himself because he's trying to profess love to her granddaughter, and he snaps his neck. And I'm just like, well, I guess we're not going there. So we don't have a new face of horror. We don't have anything that, I mean, I could understand if that's what they were going to do. They say, okay, Michael's retired after 44 years of his whatever. And Laurie's retired. Strode's character is retired after 44 years. They're both dead now, or something like that.
Another thing for me is that there was no explanations. David Gordon Green didn't explain anything in Halloween Ends. Like he didn't explain why couldn't Corey have a moment with Laurie and explain what Michael did to him, what he's feeling. We don't know what he's feeling. We don't know what's going on. We just see him going psycho.
No, all we know is from the mom scene, because I rewatched that last night. His mom is going nuts on him for whatever reason.
She's obviously got some kind of
issue.
Yeah.
And then what is the guy? Was that his uncle?
That was his dad, I think, and he owned a junkyard.
Yeah.
Apparently,
I didn't catch that. So I know they owned a junkyard, but I thought it was is it his dad? Is it his uncle? What the hell are we?
Yeah, I know. I thought it was just a guy that he worked for at first.
And she hints at she's his caretaker type thing where he knows his psyche to Laurie later on in the movie, but it wasn't enough dove into what happened to his trial. I felt like if we dove into his trial a little bit more too, Corey's trial after the kid died in the beginning of the movie, that we might have understood Corey a little bit more going into this. But like I said, the whole overall story just felt too rushed, too all over the place. If you ask me,
it felt like it was the Laurie Strode moved on movie. Laurie Strode, we see Laurie and she's moved on. I really have
I like that aspect, but what you told in Kills, she had so much stuff that she had to get over, and you only got over it in a year. That's what we're told in the beginning of this one.
Yeah, it was it's funny. We go from 2018 Laurie, who's totally totally fucked up and is ready to fight. She's not gonna take shit. She's ready to fight. And then we go to Kills. Obviously, Kills picks up where 2018 left off. Then 4 years pass. She's moved on.
Yeah.
And it's really? In the 40 years Michael's been locked up, you haven't been able to move on? And now all of a sudden Michael escapes after Kills, and they know that he escapes. And now all of a sudden she's okay.
Yeah.
But she knows that Michael's still out there and that he's alive.
Yeah.
And she's moved on. She's wearing these nice outfits, and I mean Jamie Lee Curtis. I mean she's great in everything she does. But
so the town has Corey bullied and whatnot through all different things that are happening to him, and he's going through. And I just felt even that they're really gonna bully a guy that they believe is a psychopath. I felt like there was stuff there that why are we telling this story with this guy? What? And then you tell us that he gets out of jail, he gets off of it. So they're not, those same people that are bullying him don't look at, well, he didn't get charged, so he must not have done it. No, we're going to continue to bully a guy that we believe did it, and he got out of this. Really? I don't know. I just felt like there was stretches where there didn't need to be stretches, and then there was whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. The one thing I will say, the Laurie and Michael showdown at the end was great. I love that she got the ending that she deserved. because I thought H2O was great, but
I love the showing. I mean, the
like
showing of the two characters was great, but
yeah.
I felt like there needed a little bit more fight.
Oh,
But
they did, and you know what? I felt that way in H2O too. I felt like the fight between them was too short.
yeah, I don't get me wrong. I like the fight no matter
But you know,
what.
yeah, like I mean, this fight, like I will say, like it didn't really seem like much. My mom actually gave me her opinion of it, and because she's a horror fan, and she thinks that I think they try to take advantage of Michael's age.
Yeah.
Like they try.
I was gonna add that.
Yeah.
After we got to the whole
Yeah.
how this ends.
Yeah.
Kind of the thing.
Michael's an old man. Obviously, she takes the mask off. We see like he's also deformed in ways because he's obviously been through hell.
See, I don't think he's completely really old, but I get where.
Well,
they're
he's
going.
in his 60s, I think. I think he'd be in his 60s.
Yeah, he would have to be.
Yeah, 60s. Because in Halloween 1, he was 21.
Yeah.
He was 21, so 40 years. Then
Yeah.
Yeah, so he would be in his 60s.
Yeah.
And then I thought that the ending was good. I enjoyed the ending. I mean, yeah, I just thought the whole Corey thing was just lame.
Yeah,
I wanted to see Michael. I didn't want to see this kid.
I felt like if this was like an in-between story, it would have worked. But they didn't do that. They were like, let's throw this in at the for the end, no pun intended, for the end of this movie, just to throw in these filler characters.
Yeah, obviously, in this new movie, they gave Allison a new love interest, which was Corey. Like, I thought that was cool. Obviously, Corey was obviously haunted by what happened to him in the beginning.
See,
hold on a second. And obviously, he probably is haunted by what happened to him so much. People probably compared him to Michael a lot, and he's probably been so haunted by it that he meets Allison, a girl that actually had a confrontation with Michael.
Yes.
So she knows the real Michael Myers and knows that you are definitely not him. And then they have their romance, and I think that's great. And then obviously, Michael comes back somehow.
Yeah.
I just think that he could have came back in a much cooler way. I just don't like what they did with this one.
Yeah, I don't know where their mindset was for
if you guys
story.
If you guys can hear footsteps, it's because it's my brother. He's waking up.
Yeah. I don't see. I don't think the whole takeaway from this is that they threw Corey into the story. No, not at all. I like that they added Corey's story to this, and it was different. But if you're going to do that, you need to have more of a sense of direction, and there wasn't. And there just wasn't. I hate to say that.
Yeah, I know. There
really wasn't.
There wasn't really much direction with the story. I didn't think the story that these three movies told. I didn't think it was better than the originals.
And for no offense to her, Jamie Lee to put her stamp to this, I just feel like it was taking a dump on the fan base. I'm not
Well,
trying
first
to
off,
say.
you know what? I thought that H2O. I gotta be honest with you. I really didn't expect Jamie Lee Curtis to come back, and when she was announced for the 2018 film, I was excited. And then they announced that they weren't going to be brother and sister again, and I was like, she was just going to be a random babysitter that was traumatized because she was attacked by this guy. And unfortunately, I didn't find that. I was curious to what they were going to do, of course, but I didn't really find that interesting.
No, I feel like there's more of an interesting storytelling that they could have. That they never dove into with the fact of them being brother and sister that they could have done with this story.
Yeah.
And they didn't. They wanted to go a different route, and I get that. I mean, you have different visions. Everybody has different visions. Hell, I love writing, and I get the idea of going a different route, but I don't know. I just feel like that is something that solidifies Michael and Laurie a lot better. In their relationship, the dynamic of the story, where it's going to go, how it's going to get there, how the kills mean something more in that aspect, and the thing that I always loved about 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 is that there was like a story where this psychopath is going after his family, and you would think, well, why would anybody want to kill his family? Well, it kind of dove into that with those ones, And I
Halloween
just
6 we saw that we got the
yeah,
explanation.
and and like I said, I love that about the original ones for me.
Right.
And I love like I said I go back every year at around this time and watch 1, 2, 4,
Oh, yeah, I do
5,
too, yeah.
and 6, and I have a joy watching those ones. I feel like they got something right. Yes, with 6 you have the whole curse thing that they didn't quite need to dive into, but it still had essence to what the story was trying to be.
Yeah. All right, so let's just let's start to wrap this up a little bit.
Mhm.
Obviously, we gave our opinion. We're not big fans of this movie. Scale of 1 to 10, what did you give the movie?
I give it a 4.
Give it a 4.
And the reason I give it a 4 is because I don't think they got everything wrong,
Yeah.
and I understand what they were trying to do,
Not enough explanations.
but just not enough direction, not enough
Explanations.
not enough. It was just a
Character
lot of
development.
not enough character development, not enough. It was just cannon fire, like cannon fire all over the thing.
Yeah, you know what? It's funny. Like I've seen David Gordon Green do interviews a couple times, and he says like he wanted to really go back to the elements of the first movie. Which I'll tell you one thing: I watched all the bonus features for every original Halloween sequel, and I've heard every director say that. And you know what's funny? I think the first movie is great, just like everybody else does, but I don't think it's the best in the franchise.
No, I don't think so either.
Yeah.
I think really where it picks up is 2. 2 on.
I think 2 was the best.
Yes.
And then I would give it to either 4 or H2O. I think they did a great job with Halloween 4 without Jamie Lee Curtis. And you know what? I say this right now.
And story-wise, H2O is phenomenal.
Yeah. I hope, yeah, H2O was great. But, you know, I think that, you know, for the next Halloween film, I think they should go back to the Jamie Lloyd story. I think there's more to be told with her character. I want her to come back.
Absolutely.
There is so many, like, I wish I could pitch my idea to Malika Akkad. Like, even if you just use the idea.
Even if they want to do the whole baby aspect, there's a story right there. I mean
yeah,
there is if they want to do it.
To tell you the truth, I would kind of want my movie, like if I was to make the next Halloween movie, I would probably start it off with Stephen Strode being the opening kill. And then somehow right there he finds out Jamie's still alive.
Yeah. But like I said, you could tell a story that this kid is going on a psychopathic rage too at some point if you wanted to. If you wanted to say, okay, there's Michael, and you have your first one, your second one, and maybe your third one focus on Michael's story with Jamie, right. And then all of a sudden you wanted to tell, okay, the kid that came from this whole thing. Mm-hmm. You could tell a new story that he's taken over because of whatever happened to him. Right. If that's what you want to tell, go for it. Right. But have this direction that you want to tell. Have the overall story. Like I said, don't make it feel like it's cannon fire and you have shrapnel going everywhere.
Yeah. All right. Well, on my scale of 1 to 10 for this movie, I'd probably give it. Probably give it a 5.
Wow, you went higher than me.
You know what? I mean, it's got Jamie Lee Curtis in it, and you know there's some nostalgic stuff in it and you know what? The showdown with Laurie and Michael at the end was great.
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
but
that was terrific.
Let's get to what the ending was real quick. If you want to dive in after the kitchen fight that they have.
Yeah, we finally saw it. She killed the boogeyman. Mm-hmm. She killed Michael Myers. She demolished his body, put him in a
wood chipper. They scored him off.
Yeah. What was that? What was that machine that they put him in? What was it? It like crushes? It's a machine that crushes. Like it's in junkyards.
Yeah, I can't think of what they call that. A metal crusher. He looked like he was going to be deli meat. I'm not even kidding.
I know, we saw his freaking head explode and you know we see Laurie like she split his wrist, split his neck.
Yeah,
and like
she
said Michael was dead right after she did that. It's like the guy survived multiple gunshots. She finally slit his wrist and she said Michael's dead right there, and you know, and Allison says not dead enough. Yeah. So they take him and they just squashed his whole entire body, which I think was the smartest move from the beginning.
I mean, let's face it. I think they should have done this multiple times.
I mean, H2O. I mean, they did kind of. In H2O, she chopped off his head.
Yeah, I know.
But unfortunately, what happened with H2O was I read this.
But
I watched.
Are we being told the same narrative though? That somebody else is him? That's what I felt with this. Like this, I'm not gonna lie. When he was in the sewer and then he goes to pick up his mask after Corey took it, I felt like we were trying to tell that somehow this man that we see now isn't really him.
Right.
I don't know. That's just me.
We've been getting a couple questions, so we're gonna be getting to those pretty soon.
If you wanna look at them.
And let's see, we got. All right. Well, bottom line is this: we obviously didn't care for this movie that much.
Fucking trash.
I gotta be honest with you, man. I almost
gave this a 2, and scoring wise, I really did. But I was like, you know what? I can't. I gotta be fair with this. So I'm giving it a solid 4. I can't see it going any higher than that.
I'm actually happy that this storyline that they were telling is over. And hopefully, like I said, I want Danielle Harris back because she's too good of an actress to waste the way they did in Halloween 6.
And just to put this out there, this is the big 4. I mean, he's one of the big 4 killers and horror icons.
Yeah,
and
I think he's probably
the thing that bothers me about this ends coming out the most is he's one of the big 4, and yet Terrifier or Barbarian or Smile is far better than this shit that we got.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you guys, go see those movies. Terrifier, Barbarian, and Smile. And hell, I'll even say Invitation was better than this shit.
I haven't seen that one yet.
Yeah. So.
All right. Well, yeah, that's our opinion of Halloween Ends. So. I see that you guys have given us a couple questions. Why don't we move up a little bit? We'll try to see what they got for us a little bit here. Try to scroll back up to the very top. See what we got. I'm going to have to back away a little bit. Live chat. Messages are visible. Scroll up. Okay. This one's for... This is my first time watching a horror movie review. Oh, well, thank you. We're honored.
Yeah, definitely honored.
Very honored. Yeah. And then we got Jericho Thomas saying thank you. Okay, I will. Oh, I think he's probably talking to somebody else. Okay. All right, let's see. Honestly, this film felt like a Friday the 13th Part 5, but for Halloween, but also... The similar with kills from Corey and Roy from Friday. Yeah, you know what?
I totally agree with that statement.
I agree. Yeah, I agree with that. Okay. And
that was from Devil's Eyes.
Yeah, what about Nope?
Nope. Nope. I say nope to Nope. Okay? Yeah. Nope was crap. I mean, it literally was a giant balloon thing in the sky that looked like a jellyfish and some girl's hoo-ha. It was in the sky. I'm just saying. No. Okay. I will say there is one cool scene in that whole thing where the blood just pours right down on the house. But other than that, don't waste your time with Nope.
Right. Okay. We got Savin Jason. I hope I'm saying the name right. Hey, I'm back. Did I miss the stream? Well, I mean, yeah, we just gave our review, but you can go back and watch it later. It'll be on my playlist. So, honestly, Michael in this was a wimp. No offense to Michael Fant. Yeah,
absolutely. That's sort of what I was saying about Mike. I felt like he was too old. Like he was too brittle, and but you told us that he was strong as shit in the last one.
Right. Yeah. He was. He was, yeah, so...
Any other questions, guys?
Yeah. Honestly, I feel if this was the original timeline, Michael, he would... Well, he did win in Resurrection. I mean, he did kill Laurie Strode in Resurrection, so... Yeah. He did win last time.
I mean, I felt like they needed to tell the story where they both lose.
Right. Yeah.
They both lose in an aspect. I mean, like they're both winning, but they're both losing at the same time. If you know what I mean. Like they both die. Why not tell that story?
Right. Yeah.
But that's what I wanted from this movie. Where it ends, they're both dead somehow.
Right. Yeah. Here's another one. Have you heard of the alternate ending of End or What It Almost Happened? No.
No,
Is there an alternate?
You can enlighten me.
Yeah, is there an alternate ending? I didn't even know that there was.
I didn't even know that either.
I did see the extended ending to Halloween Kills, where turns out after Michael kills Karen Strode, Laurie, her phone's ringing next to her body, and Laurie calls her to see if she's still alive, and Michael picks up and she hears him breathing.
Yeah, I saw that
So
too.
Yeah, so she knows that Michael killed her. Yeah. Yeah. So. Yeah. Any other questions, guys, or any other opinions? I think we pretty much. Oh, what's this? Apparently, Michael goes to a furnace where Laurie looks at Michael, and apparently, at the moment, Michael's evil goes to her. Wait, let me read that again.
Apparently, Michael goes to a furnace where Laurie looks at Michael, and apparently, at that moment, Michael's evil goes to her. So that would explain what happened earlier in the movie, then, with it happening to Corey.
Mm-hmm.
I would have liked to see that, but if you were gonna do that, do it.
Yeah.
Don't put it in the extra bull crap.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So
yeah, I never really saw anything that would make it look like Michael's evil went inside Laurie. I mean, we definitely saw that in Corey, but not Laurie.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I felt like the names were too close too. That's another thing I hated. What? Corey, Laurie. Like, come on.
Yeah. Oh, it's this one. Okay. Which later on, Allison goes to Laurie's house and Laurie chokes her, saying, "Run with he," slamming her door. Wait, I'm sorry. I gotta read that again. Why don't you read it?
Which later on, Allison goes to Laurie's house, and Laurie chokes her, saying, "Run." With him slamming her in the door. Honestly, I'd rather watch Friday Part 5 and then ends. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
100%.
Friday 5 is great. I just met Tom Morga. I don't know if you know this, but Tom Morga, the guy that played Jason in Part 5, also played Michael Myers in Halloween 4.
Yeah.
And the scene where Michael's at the gas station.
Yeah.
And a few other moments too. But yeah, I met Tom Morga. He's a great guy. But yeah, I will admit, no, I mean, there's no question. Friday 5 is definitely better than Halloween Ends.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
No joke. I feel like almost all of the Fridays were better than that.
Oh yeah, they were. Yeah. Wait, I said the Devil's Eye says, I mean with her slamming the door. So you mean when Allison and Laurie are fighting, arguing about that Laurie doesn't want Allison to have a relationship with Corey, and then Allison slams the door on Corey's. Okay, yeah, I will. I guess.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Okay, what's this one from Savin Jason? I think the concept works better from Jason since he's dead. Since his dead.
Yeah, Jason's dead, I think is what he's trying to say.
Jason's dead. Like the movie?
Yeah, Jason's dead.
I don't think there was a Jason's Dead movie.
Or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I will say this one. This movie felt like Jason Goes to Hell.
It did.
Because Michael, in Jason Goes to Hell, Jason is...
In parts. Not like the whole thing, because I love Jason Goes to Hell. Yeah. I don't know why, but there's just something about that movie that...
Well, no.
Because it opened the door, in my opinion, I love it because it opened the door for one of my favorite horrors, and it's still to this day, is Freddy versus Jason.
Oh, hands down. That was my way. That's the first Freddy Jason movie that I watched all the way
And I felt
through,
like they got everything right in that story. The story was
Freddy versus Jason?
Yes, I think they got pretty much everything right. I would have had a different end sequence, but other than that, I mean...
Yeah. Anyway, what's this one? It sucks for Tom when he got kicked off Halloween 4. Oh, yeah. I don't know if you know what happened. Tom Morga was replaced with George Wilbur because I think it was actually because it wasn't Tom's fault. It was nothing he did, but I think that the stunt coordinator that hired Tom Morgan got fired. He got let go, so his whole crew had to go with him. And then they got a new stunt coordinator, and then they hired George P. Wilbur to do the rest of the movie. I loved his little skit on Family Guy, though. Did you see that one on Family Guy? Yeah, it was the news anchor where he was. It turns out the news anchor's name was George P. Wilbur, and
yeah.
Yeah, and Peter Griffin is like, oh my God, did she just say George P. Wilbur is Tom Tucker's stage name? Who the hell is George P. Wilbur? That's the guy who played Michael Myers in Halloween 4, the greatest movie of all time.
Yo, high five on that. That was a good impression, man.
Yeah. I've only seen that movie like 30,000 times. How can I not have noticed that? And then we see the scene, I'm Michael Myers. I have a lot of psychological issues or something like that. And yeah, it was funny. Yeah. Okay. So what's this? So we all agree Halloween kind of sucked. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I got to be honest. I'm happy that this storyline is over.
Don't waste your time seeing this one. In my opinion, in the theaters, watch it at home. It's a good watch at home. That's why
I mean, if you want to hear if you like hearing the music in the theaters, if you want to see it in the theater, go for it. But
yeah, I mean,
I did.
The score is great here in the theater. If you want to do that, just wait till the credits roll and then, pop your head in and listen.
All right, what's this? The Devil's Eyes. No, this is the ending where Laurie gets the evil. She tells Allison to run with Allison leaving and Laurie closing the door.
Yeah, I get it. I understand I think I understand what he's trying to say.
Okay. Huh. I never thought of it like that, actually.
Yeah.
Huh. That's interesting. All right, so Sav and Jason. Let's be honest here. Roy versus Corey. I'm saying now I beat Corey anytime. Oh, yeah, Roy. Roy would definitely beat Corey, no doubt.
Yeah.
Roy is the guy that was Jason in part 5.
Yeah. I know. Yeah, definitely.
He was imposter Jason.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, they did imposter Jason. So.
I love that Jason 5. I think Jason 5 story gave a new narrative that needed to be there, sort of.
Yeah, Jericho Thomas think they should focus on Michael more. Yeah, I feel like in these new movies they focus more on Laurie. They just, I saw an interview with David Gordon Green today, and he said that he wanted to make Michael like Jaws. Like nobody thinks about when Jaws is asleep. Nobody thinks about like Michael Myers is just a killer shark who just pops up every now and then. But the whole thing that drives a Halloween movie.
I'm sorry, that's like throwing a creature feature onto Michael. Really?
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry.
I know.
No.
I didn't like that comparison either. But for me, unfortunately, what drives a Halloween movie, what gets us going is we're seeing the movie
through the psychopath's eyes.
Yeah, through his point of view, and I just felt that it was. Yeah, I don't know. I just felt like these movies were just mostly Laurie's point of view, and the fact that they're not related, it makes them who cares about a random babysitter? There's nothing about her backstory that was interesting because they're not brother and sister no more.
Yeah.
There's nothing really to I thought the scene in H2O where she talks to her boyfriend and
I felt like they were saying that, and no offense to the Gordon Green, but I think they wanted to try to tell that she was the psychopath. Kind of. That's what I got from it after it was all done.
Well, she became close to one. Yeah. Think Michael as Jaws. What the fuck? Yeah. That's really he compared. It was his interview with Collider. I think that's the name of the people that interviewed him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was his interview for Halloween Ends. He said he wanted to think of he treated Michael as if he was Jaws.
And you just don't do that. Creature features are creature features.
Yeah.
Slashers are slashers.
It's stupid.
And all the other stuff is the other stuff. And you basically gave us dumb shit.
Yeah. Let's see, Jericho Thomas. But they were going to catfish us.
I feel like they did. To be honest.
What is that? What do you mean by? What does he mean by that?
No, Michael. No. I think you mean ghosting us, basically, with Michael, right?
Yeah.
Who was that?
Yeah, can you explain? I'm sorry, Jericho. Can you explain, please? And okay, we got Sav and Jason. Also, Michael dying in this felt weak. He should have took Lori with her. Sorry. Also, Michael dying in this felt weak. He should have took Lori with her.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying.
Like Michael and Lori should have died
together. Yes.
Well, honestly, I don't think it would have mattered because Michael wasn't actually after Laurie Strode in this one. Laurie was after him.
But even so, I just felt like if that's the story, just felt like that's where it was going to go. Like they both were going to die here in their final stand, and that's what I was hoping going into this. It needed to be a final stand for the both of them because let's face it, Jamie Lee wants to hang it up. After this, she doesn't want to return to this role. So if that's the case, give us a story where it's a fight between the two of them, and it's the fight to the death kind of a thing, and they both die.
I mean, I think they delivered that in 2018, and and ends. I like their fights, and I think H2O was still. I still prefer the H2O fight. Over
I don't know. I just feel like we could have had a cool epic bout, and we didn't even get it. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I love the end fight, but at the same time, I felt I just was craving a little bit more and something we hadn't seen. That to me was just like, well, here's the fight, and all of a sudden he's on the counter, and let's crucify the guy.
Yeah, Sav and Jason. What else did he say? I feel Jaws fits more with Jason, but then again, they say Michael is like the land Jaws.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I can agree with that. Yeah. That's what I felt like.
The devil's eyes. What did he say now?
Yeah, hold on a sec. Let's scroll down. Okay. Devil's eyes. The personal I would have ended with kills with after Michael kills Karen. He goes to the hospital, massacre the people in there, is about to fight Michael, where they fight there, and maybe Michael eyes get.
What?
I think autocorrect kind of messed you up there, buddy.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I was understanding until it got to the end there.
Yeah, I think the word is got. My autocorrect does that all the time. It sucks. I hate it when that happens. Let's try to read it. Oh, me personal. Okay, me personally, I would have ended with kills with after Michael kills Karen. He goes to the hospital, massacre the people in there, is about to fight Michael, where they fight there, and maybe Michael's eyes get.
Yeah,
Michael's eyes get shot with the hospital blown up.
Okay, now I get it now.
Yeah, I mean he fights Laurie. Okay, you know what? I think it was. I think I just misread it. I'm sorry. Okay, and Jericho Thomas says the build him up to be unstoppable killing machine, and he dies that way. Well, I mean, yeah, I know. It turns out that she just we've seen Michael survive gunshots and fires and all of a sudden she slits his throat and splits his veins and. He's dead, and I mean, I guess it. I
feel like it was just. I mean, they drew everything else out with different things, and then the fight. Oh, here's the fight. Oh, look at that. He's an unstoppable man, but this is going to stop him. Like what?
Yeah.
We're told that he's an unstoppable force, and then all of a sudden this.
And thought it going to be severe. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I think we all did. Yeah, message.
I just was
that message was retracted.
More. I mean, we get his second breath, like we always see from a villain in these slasher movies. We get his second breath, and all of a sudden, his second breath just goes nowhere.
Right. Yeah.
I would have loved to have seen his second breath have gone somewhere, and hell. You could have had this spew all the way to the wood chipper, and they're both fighting over the wood chipper, and they both fall in.
What's this one? I'm surprised Michael dies this evil, but Leatherface, a cannibal old man, gets hit with a chainsaw and survives. Makes no sense. You know what? I still haven't seen any of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies.
I still have.
As surprised as that sounds, I haven't.
I have to see the originals, but I do like the reboots of them, all of them.
Imagine this with Jason and Freddy. I'm scared for Jason and Freddy going to Blumhouses. Oh, God. You know what? That might be where Freddy's going.
Isn't Jason already in Blumhouse? I thought he was.
Jason is actually, the rights of Jason actually went back to the original writer who wrote the first movie. And I'll tell you guys something. I met Sean Cunningham at a Monster Mania in Cherry Hill, and it turns out Victor Miller, I think his name is, the guy that wrote the original Friday the 13th, was always confused. Like, he never saw any of the sequels, and he doesn't understand how Jason's alive, because in his movie, Jason was dead. He was dead.
And the funny thing is, because I told you this yesterday, you can probably remember this. I don't think necessarily Blumhouse is to blame here, but at the same time, Blumhouse puts out all these like random gory product, and I feel lately when they first started, they were awesome. They were awesome horror thing that put their stamp to different horrors that came out. Mm. But now going forward, I feel like they're just putting stamp to it without actually looking at the overall product that comes from it. Right. And it's like, don't give us that crap. I don't want that crap. Yeah. I like I was telling you, I went to see Smile and Barbarian and all these other ones, and I said to myself, coming out of most of them, I go, horror's not dead. And then I go into Halloween Ends, and I said, okay, maybe it is dead. I don't want to feel that way. I love horror. Right. I get an overall feel to it. It made me want to see real life horror stuff going home, or something to take away that crap.
Right. Yeah. I get what you're saying. Okay, so what's this? All right. Honestly, the ending with this feels like an ending for a Friday movie. Change the setting. Have the town of Crystal Lake bring back the past survivors, and then you have an ending with Jason.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. I feel like,
you know what's funny? That's how the remake ended. Like the way they killed Michael in this movie. I think that's what happened with Jason in the remake.
You know what I feel like happened with this. To be honest with you, I feel like they had in the storyboard room. They have a bunch of people get around the table and they say, okay, we got Freddy versus Jason. We got our Jason's movie coming out. We got our Freddy movie coming out. We got our Chucky movie coming out. We got this movie coming out. And they gathered up Michael's, mm-hmm. and they gathered up Jason, and they didn't realize they mixed the papers up.
Right. Yeah.
Like.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
And instead of trying to get those papers that they had about Michael, they just left it in the pile.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Okay. Let's this one. I feel works more with Jason than Michael, but that's just me. You could be right about that.
Yeah, I agree.
Jericho Thomas. I haven't watched horror movies, but no people would be happy that happens to Jason or Freddy.
Yeah.
Not be happy. My bad.
Yeah. See, that's just it. I've been on and off with horror for a couple of years because I felt like horror in general just like was starting to die, and I love horror, and I love like stories that come out of random things, and lately it just felt like they didn't hit the nail in the coffin, so to speak. And now all of a sudden they started getting good, and then I see this crap and I'm like, I don't know if I really want to give horror a chance again.
Right, yeah, I know. Let's see, what was that? Savin Jason. I feel this whole trilogy works more of a Friday movie. Yeah, I agree. It felt like Friday the 13th.
Yeah,
they were very simple. There wasn't anything to them. There wasn't depth. There was no depth to them.
Yeah,
and I felt like where there could have been depth, they wasted. Like Allison, there could have been like a whole emotional thing with her, but they pretty much just threw her in there to be a whiny, emo little granddaughter.
And the funny thing is, I felt like Allison was going to turn too. I really did at a point.
I didn't think she was going to turn. I didn't want her to turn. I just
I didn't want her. I thought, but I thought, if they do go that route, it's something.
She definitely got more sexual. She definitely got more sexual in this one.
Yeah. And I thought if they're going to go that route, I felt like, okay, if we're going to get that out of her, okay, let's see that. Let's see why that happened. but
Yeah.
you never know.
Yeah, my friend has a way better version of the movie. Cool. Hopefully he'll share it with us because I think we would all love to see it.
I would love to see that.
You have ends like Friday Part 5, kills like Jason coming back to town, and 2018 was like Jason coming back. Yeah, I guess, yeah, it's pretty true.
Yeah.
Pretty true. Like, see, I would call this one, obviously, a mixture of Friday 5, but also I would call it Jason Goes to Hell. Because Jason Goes to Hell, he was killing using other people's bodies.
That's what, 7? Or is that 6?
Jason Goes to Hell was Part 9.
9, okay.
Yeah. That was the one where he was he gets blown up in the beginning of the movie, and then the doctor doing the autopsy.
I get confused after 5 actually. After 5, I can go up to 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then after that I get a little confused.
Part 4. In Part 4, Jason gets killed. Obviously.
Yeah.
Part 5, there's no explanation for how he got back, but it turned out
Manhattan
we
is
find
7,
out,
right?
Manhattan is 8.
But
then we find out in Part 5 that it's an imposter. And then in Part 6, Jason gets struck by lightning and he comes back to life.
Yeah.
As a zombie. But
I like the one where he battles the psychopathic person.
Yeah.
The girl, I forget what she has, like a weird power.
Jericho Thomas. I'm new to horror
the kills in
movies,
that.
so I can't say anything. Well, you're still entitled to your opinion if you've seen any of the Halloween movies. You know, I mean, like, what's your opinion of a good Halloween movie? I don't know if you've.
Rank them for us if you can.
Yeah,
we'd like to
give us a ranking. Well, like, whatever, man. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. You like whatever ones you like. I mean, like I said, I personally prefer the old Jamie Lee Curtis ones.
I like up to 5 the best. I do like 6 too, but I mean 5 is killer in my opinion. Up to 5.
Yeah.
In the Halloweens.
Yeah. All right. And also, the lightning is too blue. Like, come on, would make it like a Halloween movie.
Oh wait.
And I'm sorry. Let me read that again. And also, the lightning is not blue. Like, come on, what would make it like a
light, like a blue light? There is blue lightning though.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking. Yeah, I guess
I understand what you mean though.
A little too goofy, but you know they made the opening credits blue too. I guess it's because Laurie Strode's original outfit was a blue outfit, so I think they were trying to go for Laurie in this one.
Yeah, I just was like, what is going on?
Yeah, what would you guys like? What would your guys' version of the movie would be? We pretty much gave an opinion. Like, personally...
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah, personally, I think, like I said, I wish that Corey, you know, obviously he kills the kid he's babysitting accidentally in the beginning of the movie, and then he, hold on a second, don't...
No.
Let's give my opinion first. And then,
I'm just trying to...
Obviously, you know, yeah, in the movie we see him, he's an emotional wreck because he's haunted by what happened to him. People are probably calling him Michael Myers, comparing him to him. He's going through hell, and then all of a sudden he gets confronted by these bullies. He gets a desire to kill, and then the bullies toss him over the tunnel. And then, you know, obviously Allison and him develop a relationship. She obviously thinks he's cute. They go out with him, and she goes out with him, and then a relationship forms. And then obviously, I don't know how Michael would have came back. Personally, I think I would have just preferred it like a surprise like appearance. Like, I like that he's in the sewer. I kind of like that idea that he's in the sewer, but I think that I would have preferred it. I don't want Michael using somebody else to kill. I want him to do it himself.
Same.
I don't want I don't want a teenage boy to do it.
I would have probably told somewhat of this if this is the direction that they really wanted to go. I would have probably told somewhat of the same story, but I would have dove into Corey's trial sooner. I wouldn't have told a narrative of love and lust like that, or whatever you want to call it, between Allison. I would have hinted that they met. I would have done that type of thing. I would have showed the trial of him and how the town messed with Corey's psyche for a little while. And then I would jump to what happened sort of in the sewer with him, with Michael. Maybe he saw Michael kill instead of being in the sewer. I would have had Michael start killing again randomly. He sees him maybe on the street,
I think
maybe in the house.
He should have killed the homeless guy. He should have just
something.
Like maybe the homeless guy stuck his face in there, and then Michael's arm comes out, grabs him by the neck, and then boom, he pops out of the tunnel.
Something of that nature.
Then,
but I wouldn't have wasted so much time on Corey. I would have started focusing on random kills that Michael's now starting to do.
Yeah.
That the town's starting to go, okay, there's a psychopath back on the loose. Is it Michael? We do hear that at some point in the movie, but we don't focus on that. I thought, why don't we start focusing on who could possibly be a serial killer in the town again? And you find out it is Michael, but he's doing random things. And Corey sees one of these kills, and he goes, what does it take to be this? I hope, basically diving into the narrative of like, wait a minute, I feel like I'm going there because the townsfolk is literally bullying the fuck out of me,
right?
Since all this is going on.
Yeah, let's move on.
Dive into the narrative of him going to that. And if they want to get to a point where they say they're going to take over, Corey's going to take over as Michael, fine, tell that story. But I wouldn't. I don't know. If you're going to tell that story, I wouldn't have Corey killed off necessarily. If you're not going to tell that story, then do something totally different. And what I would do totally different, I can't just come up with it tonight. It's not on the spot type thing.
We'll do it on another live.
But I will give you an idea. I promise.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? If you want to give your YouTube information, so people can find you.
I'll give my handle for.
I can put it in the description. It's still the one that I have. So yeah.
I don't know my handle off the top of my head for YouTube, but I do have it for TikTok. If anybody wants to follow me there, TikTok is the one-eyed Wolfman Brown. That's all one word.
Yeah. Okay. So we got. Let's see what else we got here. I think we got someone new was added to the chat. Let's see what we got. It's the Spider Master. Hello there. What's going on? Hello there. What's going? Just gave our opinion of Halloween Ends. Just gave our opinion of Halloween Ends, and yeah, we both agreed it was not good.
It was horseshit.
Yeah, you know what? It makes me think of that. It makes me think of that moment at the end of Ted when they brought up Brendan Routh. Remember Brendan Routh from that god awful Superman movie? Jesus Christ! Thanks for getting our hopes up and taking a giant shit on us.
Yeah, exactly.
That's like that. That's what I think of David Gordon Green.
Yeah.
Thank you for getting our hopes up, David Gordon Green, and taking a giant shit on us. Like, seriously,
massive dump on the whole franchise.
I think everybody wants to kick these movies now to the curb. I mean, some things about it we liked.
Like I said, I don't mind 2018. The kills, just get rid of. The ends, just get rid of. You don't even need
Halloween
to go
2. My opinion, Halloween 2, still the best Halloween movie ever made.
Absolutely. By far. Bar none.
It's funny, John Carpenter doesn't give that movie enough credit. And you know what? I really think 2 was the one that set the tone for the franchise.
Yes.
Yeah.
But bar none.
Okay, The Devil's Eyes. Yeah, my idea of the story is Halloween Kills. Instead of Michael killing the firefighter at Laurie's house, follows them to the fire station and massacres the entire crew.
See.
I don't think that. I mean, obviously, I guess it would make sense. It helps them get back into town.
I agree with somebody because I asked somebody else, like one of my friends today, and what he thought about it. He said if you switched kills with ends, you would have had an overall better story. That if you take ends and you put it in the middle, and you put kills where end is, you would have had a much better storytelling. Yeah. All told.
Yeah, kills. What they did in Kills, that should have been like the final, like Michael massacring like the neighbor. Like that should have been like the final one.
Yeah.
They're gonna go slow with the. I mean, I don't know. Honestly, no. I didn't like what they did with Ends. I don't like that he's not in the movie. I don't like that he's hiding in a tunnel.
But
for 4 years.
if they told the story differently, I think we would have liked it. I really do.
I think David Gordon Green. I honestly think that these movies were written very lazy,
very hastily.
Like they just simply wrote it and there you go. That's why it was able to come out year after year after year.
I feel like he wrote something. He had something pretty good. and instead of like finalizing what he wanted and what he didn't want, he didn't do it. He just didn't do it. And it could be because of the pandemic. It could
Sure.
be because of other things that happened. I don't know. But I felt like he had a whole movie with this. I mean, he had the entire idea laid out, did all of that, shot every scene, and decided, I'm going to pick this one out. I'm going to pick this one out. I'm going to pick this one out. And it didn't tell a good story.
He did.
That's what I feel happened
Yeah,
with both kills and ends.
Yeah, I know. I didn't care for these new movies really.
Okay.
Okay. The Spider Master. Working on my Splatoon horror film. Cool. Good for you. That's great. Yeah, I'm about to do a Nightmare on Elm Street short film. You're going to see this guy come back. Obviously, you guys know he played Mike in Friday the 13th Jason Returns. Or you probably don't know that.
Wait a minute. My name wasn't there, so
we
throughout the
didn't.
entire thing.
It was in the credits, but it wasn't.
I'm the no-named Mike.
Yeah, you're the Mountain Dew shirt guy. Yeah, because we did not say his character's name once in Friday the 13th Jason Returns. Yeah. Oh God!
And I thought I had a pretty cool scene there, but no, you didn't want to give me a name.
And you know what? I'll tell you one thing. I really like your delivery in Friday the 13th Jason Returns, where you got the beer out, but I was really bummed that Rich cut your line off.
Yeah, I just wish we actually kept them full.
Yeah, I know.
You can hear them clanking way too much.
Yeah.
But
oh, that was a fun shoot, though.
It was very fun.
It was stressful, but it was fun.
Yeah.
Okay. Jericho Thomas. I just watched Halloween 1 earlier. Awesome. I just watched it like 2 days ago, actually. Okay. The Devil's Eyes. And it ends what I would have if have the kid actually get killed by Michael, with Corey trying to save the kid but looking like he did it, with the parents seeing him. I think that's what you just said. You wanted Michael to you wanted Michael to be the one to kill the kid, and the parents walk in and they see Corey probably standing over the body with blood on his hands, and they think that he did it.
Yeah, or if it was an accident,
honestly, I think I would have
seen that it was an accident.
Yeah, I think I would have preferred that too. Yeah, I think that's smart actually. Yeah, I agree. That would have been smart. Jeez, man, maybe you should freaking call David Gordon Green and said do another one and then do it right.
I don't want his hands on it. I really don't after this. I
don't want David Gordon Green to come back either. I don't
want him to touch it at all.
He's done. I don't want to see.
I mean, if he produces something, fine. But after producing,
I don't want him to touch it.
Yeah, I don't want him directing it. I don't want him.
I didn't think his Halloween movies were interesting, really.
No, I didn't either. Although I will give him the flashbacks. The flashbacks were great.
Yeah,
in this series.
Yeah, Kills was great. I love the flashbacks.
Other than that, no.
Yeah. All right. Here we go. Corey running down the sewers, where Michael chokes him, then the cop shows up, kills the cop while Corey runs off to his house. He slowly starts to obsesses of Michael, but then he gets a call from Allison since they were friends in 2018. If he was okay, he says yes, with him going off, buys a Michael mask, and makes it like Michael, with him going off his own killing, with him remembering what the town... Oh,
yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
That would be interesting too.
Excuse me.
But I don't know. I mean, it's not that it was complete crap, but at the same time it was still crap.
Yeah, I know what the town did to him when you go back to Michael, where he leaves the sewer and still the cop car or walks off, and him going to the house, he sees these teenagers making out with the girl looking kind of like Judith. He goes off to the house with the dog barking. The girl goes upstairs to change the boyfriend. Tells the dog change his diaper. Change the boyfriend.
No, I understood.
I know what he means. Yeah, I just thought that was funny. Upstairs to change the boyfriend. Tells the dog to shut it. When the dog stops, it shows Michael in his hand an axe and the dog head in. Aw, animal cruelty, man.
I see. That's another thing I don't like that they did with the Chucky stuff too. You know what I mean? Like they did animal cruelty in the recent show.
All right, Jericho Thomas. Ends felt more like a middle part of a story than an end.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought.
It did, but you know what?
Like I said, my one friend said to switch them. Like kills should be where ends was, and ends should be where kills is. And that might be the better narrative.
Yeah, I just don't know if I want ends to be a part of it at all, really.
I don't think I want it either. But I mean, if you're going to, like I said, if you're going to tell that narrative, tell the narrative, but tell it better than that.
Yeah. Other than he pulls the dog's head underneath the door, where the boyfriend sees and thinks the dog sleeping, he moves the head. As he looks up, Michael swings the axe.
Drink real quick.
All right, go for it. Looks up, Michael swings the axe to him. With the girl hearing her boyfriend, she screams that Michael stabs her with the "I'm good for right now, thanks."
Yeah, I didn't get murdered, guys. That wasn't a
that was
a
interesting.
door getting over here.
Yeah, Michael creaking the door. Yeah, no. Devil's Eyes. That's an interesting idea. That's a pretty good idea. Yeah, I mean, I pretty much at this point will take anything after ends. Yeah, I don't know. I really wish that. I want Daniel Harris to come back to the franchise. I want the Jamie Lloyd story. I want the Jamie Lloyd story to continue.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
I would like to see other family members too, because they always had hidden at the family killing stuff too. I would love that type of narrative. Like he's going after more family members of some kind, all over the place. I don't want to just keep jumping ahead, and there's no, you know what I mean? Like, if he wants to kill his entire clan, go ahead. Let's see that. I'd like to see if there's another psychopath like him too.
Right.
But,
All right. Well, we'll take a couple more. If anyone's got any more things to add to this, then we'll keep going. But yeah, Devil's Eyes. You got some good ideas.
yeah, I absolutely love these. Yeah, I like that.
Anybody else got any questions or any opinions or anything? No. All right. Well, I think that's where we'll end it for right now. I think, but you know, this was fun.
Yeah,
we'll
it was definitely fun.
We'll have to come back on this again. Oh, what do we got there? Jericho Thomas. Also, Corey's story to me did not make sense for a final movie. Absolutely right.
Yeah.
Right.
It didn't. Like I said, if they were going to tell that narrative, I would have dove into the trial aspect, what it was doing to him mentally. If they were going to tell the narrative, is what I'm saying. Yeah. And that's what they were trying to tell, but I felt like they hit and missed in spots.
Yeah, they did. It didn't work.
It just didn't work. And if it's not going to work, take it out completely. That's what I say.
Yeah, well, you know, Devil's Eyes, maybe you should make a fan film. Maybe you should make a fan film, put your ideas on. You got some good ideas, man, so use them. Use them.
I came up with something a while back for Friday the 13th. I wish I had that on my phone still. Yeah. And all. I had this whole, like, beginning of a movie written down, and I lost it, but that was on one of my older phones. But
yeah. All right, guys. Well, we're gonna wrap this up. This was a lot of fun. Hope maybe we'll do it again. Maybe we'll do another one for Scream.
Yeah. There's a couple movies coming up that I would love to do something on. I'll mention them later, but yeah.
I don't know when next time we're gonna be going live, but for right now we got what's that? Actually, me and Devil's Eyes has a idea together for a fan film project. Oh, good for you guys.
Nice.
Good for you guys. Keep it going. I don't know if you guys have watched any of our films, but
we got some ideas spewing that we're going back and forth. We might have one of my productions.
A versus movie of Jason versus Michael. Yeah, I've seen a few of those on. I've seen a few of those ideas on. I really don't. I mean, I have an idea for one, but I don't really think it would really matter. Jason's obviously influenced by Michael, and I don't know. I don't really think they need to. I think, see, we got two silent killers, two killers that don't talk, and
So
I think Freddy was a good. It was good to have Freddy there.
all right, let's put it this way. We have a silent killer also in Texas Chainsaw Guy. Would you see that if they ever were to break the boundaries?
Even thought of Michael going to Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Chicago.
No, but seriously, I mean, if
That was the Michael breathing, by the way.
if Michael fought Leatherface, would you think that would be interesting?
You know what? I can't give an opinion on Leatherface because I still got to watch those movies.
I don't know.
Yeah, so we'll check it out. We'll check it out as time goes on. But all right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in, and we'll hope to see you guys again soon. And
maybe we got something else to talk about very, very soon down the line. We don't know.
And you know, I don't know. I posted a while back that Nightmare on Elm Street is going to be, the next fan film I'm going to be doing. I think we're going to take a little break from Scream for right now, and obviously, I think Joe wants to get back into working in some of the films again. And he really did me a big favor and played a dead pizza guy. He did a good job.
Yeah, I still say hashtag the pizza guy lives and murders.
Yeah, yeah. Bring him back as the killer, but obviously we can't do that because in episode 2, Stacy's looking at the crime scene photos. So you would have been playing dead during the time the cops were there. Yeah.
But that's fine. I'm only kidding around.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I play a very good dead victim. So if you guys need one, I'll do it.
Yeah. Just remind me never to yell and scream in a film ever again.
Oh my god.
Oh god, I hated that. I really did not like my performance.
He had to play a guy with an attitude, and he came off like he was an asshole completely.
You know what? Yeah. I mean, I was meant to be an asshole on Friday the 13th, but I just
over the top asshole.
A little too loud, but.
It was your first major outing, I think, right?
Wearing the hat as director and also acting is pretty tough because you're more worried about the camera angles. Yeah. All right. Let's see. All right, Seven Jason. We'll see you guys. Do another stream like this again. Oh yeah,
definitely.
We will.
We plan on it. And bring your friends next time.
Yes, please. More viewers. That would be great. Can't wait for the Nightmare on Elm Street film. Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Devil's Eyes.
Do you know who's behind the new Nightmare on Elm?
They didn't announce it yet. So far, people have said like maybe the new Freddy Krueger might be Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
I've heard that, but like there really is nothing really.
You know who I would love? I would love to pick it up. What's his name? Ethan Hawke. He was great in the Black Phone this year.
Yeah.
I would love to see another Ethan Hawke based main character for a villain.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah,
that would be cool. Yeah,
I honestly Black Phone's another good horror movie, guys.
I honestly thought that the guy that would be perfect for the new Freddy would probably be the guy that played, what was his name, Herb on 2.5 Men. The guy that Alan's ex-wife was married to. What's that say?
More people. Yeah, definitely.
Yes, please do. That'll be a great help to us. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much, guys. We really appreciate your support. It means
again,
a lot
you can follow me on my TikTok at the Wolfman, the one-eyed Wolfman Brown.
Yeah, I'll put
that's all one word.
Yeah, I will put the link to his TikTok and YouTube channel in maybe the comments section. So
I might even leave my Instagram too.
Yeah, or you could do it. You could probably do it. Just put your links in the comments and all that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Well, let's see. Yeah, 7. Oh, you guys know each other. That's awesome.
Yeah. They're doing the movie together.
Yeah, I know that, but I didn't know that they knew each other. Actually, that's really cool. Really cool. All right, guys. Well, thank you again for tuning in.
Have a good night.
Have a good night, and maybe
have many scares and scare on, guys.
Yep.
Because I feel like that more of our voices in horror fandom needs to be heard because Horror has gone in a weird direction lately, and we need to bring it back.
Just make sure that the opinions are
Don't
clean.
go. Yeah, clean.
Don't criticize the actors. They do a good job. But if you didn't like the character, like his whole arc in a movie, like I'll tell you right now, like I don't like that's my issue with Star Wars fans. They keep criticizing the actors. And stuff
let's
like
be respectful.
yeah.
Okay.
Like
but,
it's not the actors. They were hired to do a job. I mean, of course we would all do it.
We're going to have a good time tonight. Quote Corey Cunningham. Yep.
Oh yeah, good one. That was a good one. Very good one. All right, guys. Have a good night. Take care, and hopefully we'll all see you soon.
Bye, and I'm your friend to the end.
All right, I'll see you.